Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. Today we are going to review a newly launched fragrance, launched in 2023. I got a little 7.5 ml miniature bottle here that I received when I visited the Dior counter, and that would be Dior Riviera or Dior Riviera, Dior Riviera. There is a little munchkin bottle. Dior Riviera coincidentally marks the first new launch by none other than Francis Kurkdjian for Dior as the new perfume artistic director or perfume director at Dior. The first thing he did was actually bring back Noire and bring back Cologne Blanche, right? That's the first thing he did, but these already existed as he created them already in the early 2000s. But this is his first brand new perfume. And it is also coincidentally, his first brand new perfume is a perfume for the Collection Privee by Dior. So Dior Riviera launched 2023. The nose behind it is Francis Kurkdjian, and we're gonna dab it here. Okay, that's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Right. So, before we get to it, subscribe to my channel. Thumb up this video if you're enjoying it thus far. And you can also follow me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together, for extra perks. Thank you to my patrons who have already pledged. This video is being filmed live in front of my patrons and members from my main channel. They get access to these videos before everybody else. So hi everybody in the live chats. I see you guys on the side. So thumb up the video and subscribe. Okay, this is Fig. Fig. It's a very light summery scent. Dior describes it as a floral fruity fragrance for women and men. It was designed, as Dior says, to convey modern and romantic impressions inspired by the rose garden near Chateau Noire. See where Francis is going towards, like Noire, and now we got Chateau Noire. Located in the south of France, elegantly fruity, green, and floral, the fragrance combines the smells of rose, fig, and green notes with the slight warmness of a nice sunny day. The fruitiness comes from both roses and fig. It's a very different approach to fig than the other fig fragrance that we know from the Collection Privee from the Demachy era, which would be Ballade Sauvage. Ballade Sauvage is a fragrance that I have in my collection, and I have also reviewed it on my channel, so you can go check that one out. But it's a very different fig, Dior Riviera, or Dior Riviera. I was expecting, just like, you know, Chanel did for the Les Eaux collection, they did Paris Riviera. That's a neroli-based fragrance. I thought with Dior Riviera, they might go the neroli route as well, but no. Francis did not copy Chanel. Why would he? He's a perfumer in his own right, after all. He created a very sweet and light fig. Very interesting. Dare I say it's a little bit too synthetic for me, though. Tina in the chat says, Dior Riviera altogether? Yes, it's all spelled as one word. Dior Riviera. Aisha says in the chats, after Diptyques Philosikos, I got sick of fig. You know, to me, one of the most interesting figs out there would be Womanity by Thierry Mugler, right? But that's a very, very conceptual synthetic fig. And it was a study on the three aspects of fig. It was the fig leaf, the fig fruit, and the fig tree, the actual trunk of the tree or the bark or whatever is in it. And so those three elements of the smell of fig combined in one, plus that salty caviar accord, it's a very, very, very particular type of fig that it's like you've never smelled it before. But then Philosikos is a very standardized synthetic fig. Interesting, Philosikos exists as an eau de toilette and as an eau de parfum. Diptyque Philosikos. But a very green, Philosikos is a very green fig. It's the green aspect of a fig, right? Ballade Sauvage, the Demachi fig for Dior, is also a green powdery fig. It has the green fig accord. Dior Dioriviera, however, doesn't go into the green direction. Maybe slightly, but it's the fruits in here that makes this fig smell like the inner part of the fig, the fruity sweet part, which is not green, but if you visualize, if you cut the fig, the interior of the fig is kind of a pink to red color. It like goes through the hues of pink to red. And there's the little seeds in there. They can turn brown. They can be yellowish, depending on which fig sort you're dealing with. But fig, this smells more of the fruit fig, with a lot of roses. So it's more the pulpy flesh part of the fig that is more reminiscent to me of pink and red hues. Add the rose in there, and of course you think about roses exist in many different colors, but usually when we think about roses and perfumes, we think about pink and red roses, usually the color. So again, the rose aspect also adds a little bit of visual of a pink color. And then the green notes are very subtle. This is not a green perfume to me. You know, especially if you can choose between this one and Ballade Sauvage, which is another fig perfume from the Dior Collection Privee. Like, Ballade Sauvage is green. This is pink. Pink red. It's interesting though. I do not believe that this one is strong enough to say, wow, Francis delivers a home run with his first perfume. We know it's not his first for Dior, but his first perfume for Dior since he has been appointed artistic director of their perfumes, right? You know what I mean? Because obviously for me, Noire and Cologne Blanche are his first. But this is a masterpiece. Okay, listen, I always say this, but Francis knows how to do lavender. You know, his first perfume when he was 25 or 26 years old was Le Mal for Gaultier, one of the most beautiful 90s fougere lavender fragrances. Still to this day, I adore the first Le Mal, you know, the toilette concentration. This Au Noir is another gorgeous, gorgeous lavender. Now, obviously, since he thought, well, I made the lavender for Dior, I can't top this. I mean, I don't know if he could, but so he did this. I'm like, okay, so probably the marketing team told him, hey, you got to release a perfume for the summer. It has to, you know, because it's not like he's free to do whatever he wants. There's still LVMH. They are the boss. And their marketing still decides, listen, for our perfume range, work in this direction, work in that direction. He just, you know, I have a sneaky suspicion that he is just following orders. You know, he has probably quite a bit of freedom to steer the direction in which a perfume goes into, but I'm sure that he gets from higher ups a note, hey, we got to release a perfume in summer. So, you know, it has to be summery, this accord. The topic is Noire, Villa, or this or that. And then he works with whatever they tell him. This is how I think it goes down. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this perfume is a bit, dare I say, immature. You know, it's very youthful, but in a way like somebody who is just starting to make perfumes. This doesn't smell like a perfume that is done by a master perfumer. Interesting also how this perfume smells like it belongs in the Collection Privee range. Isn't that strange? Like almost as if maybe Demachy already started working on this when he left, and Francis just took over and finished it for him. Or maybe Francis is just being very cautious at the beginning of his career at Dior, and he's trying to play it very safe in the beginning and just like trying to make a perfume that's going to blend in well with the Collection Privee range that's already there. Maybe that's going on here. But it's just not good, you guys. I mean, it's okay, but it's just not like you're like, oh, great, it's Francis's first perfume since he took over Dior, you know, like, wow, we were all like titillating and expecting something groundbreaking. And instead we got something that smells like it belongs halfway between Collection Privee and Louis Vuitton's perfumes. You know, they're also always all rose based because Cavalier, the perfumer that does all the perfumes for Louis Vuitton, who, by the way, isn't that interesting? Jacques Cavalier created Classique for Jean-Paul Gaultier, the first female fragrance from Gaultier. And Francis created the first male fragrance for Gaultier. And now Francis is working for Dior, Cavalier is working for Louis Vuitton. And again, there's a little similarity going on there because Dior Dioriviera, how the French would pronounce it, I suppose, is kind of, it smells like it could belong because of the rose, and Cavalier loves to work with his particular nuance of rose. It's his signature. And I'm like, oh, and now Francis is also working the rose into Dior. This could have been a Louis Vuitton launch. And you know I'm not a big fan of Louis Vuitton perfumes. So yeah, Tina says it's juvenile, like youngish. Yeah. Aisha is asking, is there Dior DNA? I don't sense a lot of Dior DNA in here, you guys. Like I sense the Collection Privee DNA, but it doesn't have the character. And it's light years away from Noire, character-wise. Like this is not giving me character. You know, it's giving me very much that person that doesn't have a lot of taste, but has a lot of money. And they can afford to have an expensive holiday, you know, and they can afford to not work during summer, and they can afford to be on yachts and ships or whatever. And so they want to purchase a new fragrance for the summer, and they want the perfume to be expensive, and they want it to be bland as they are, you know, but they want to be able to say, you know, I got the latest Dior perfume. It's giving me that person that lacks style and taste, but has the money and wants the newest Dior fragrance. It's very much that thing, that kind of object that you put on a table and it looks good to show off, but it you know, it's definitely wearable. Don't get me wrong. This is a very inoffensive, easy characterless summer fragrance that is not going to bother you. It's inoffensive. It's going to give you clean, fresh, characterless vibes. Sad, because I love a fig. This is like, this does not warrant a full bottle. You guys, like buying a full bottle of this, and they just went up in price yet again. Like to get a 125 ml bottle of this for like, how much do they cost now? Almost like $300. Never. I mean, I would always repurchase Noire. Like this is my do or die. Bottom line, Dior Collection Privee never topped their first three. And their first three being Bois d'Argent, Noire, and Cologne Blanche. Now, Cologne Blanche in the current formulation is not the best, but still, even Cologne Blanche in the current formulation is much better than Dior Dioriviera. So for me, like if you really got the money and you want to spend it on Dior Collection Privee, I highly recommend you stick to the original three. Bois d'Argent, Noire, and Cologne Blanche if you want to have three of them. But otherwise, top priority. And the only ones that really blow my mind still to this day, still in their current formulations, Bois d'Argent and Noire. Just keep buying those. Keep buying those because they are masterpieces. This is forgettable to say the least. Dior Dioriviera is forgettable to say the least. It's not worth the money because if you're going to spend the same amount of money for this or this, get Noire. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Or get Bois d'Argent. And then there's a sweetness in here that starts developing the more it's like on the skin. Very synthetic, very, very cheap smelling. My verdict is it's not worth a bottle. Get yourself a sample, test it out, you know, play with it a little bit in summer. But if you want a fig from Dior, Ballade Sauvage is 1,000 times better. If you really want a fig from Dior, I would recommend Ballade Sauvage over Dior Dioriviera. Sorry, Dior. I'm sorry, Francis. I love you to bits, and I was hoping to be able to say, this is amazing. No, it just isn't. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you purchased Dior Dioriviera? Have you tried it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Why did you like it? Why did you not like it? And thumb up this video if you've liked the video. Subscribe.